Hi, this is Darshini in spirit, and we're doing a radio talk show on June 1st, 2012. And thank you for joining us, and we will be starting in a minute.
Special gift that you'd like to share with the world? Then consider broadcasting your message on BTRN. The B Talk Radio Network is local, national, and international broadcasting with powerful programs that enlighten minds and change lives. BTRN hosts are passionate about purpose, motivating listeners to confidently move forward in the direction of their dreams. To host a show on BTRN, call 401-640-GIFT. Become a part of the B Talk Radio Network today and contribute to positive change tomorrow. We are BTRN, the B Talk Radio Network. True knowledge evokes wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge in practice. Selective knowledge facilitates error. In spirit is truth. Darshini in spirit will help you find the answers you seek. Darshini sees. Internationally renowned clairvoyant and spiritual guide Darshini has a refreshingly honest and candid style that contributes greatly to her ability to counsel, heal, and guide. Motivational speaker, author, teacher. Experience Darshini in spirit at 714-348-9994. Visit darshini-inspirit.com.
So we've taken our next step in this infinite journey of enlightenment. A series of events have taken place that has brought us to where we are right now. This is the most important time of our lives. It's in this very moment, which exists prior to a thought, that we have the potential to be. Being exists in this moment, in this time, and knowing, seeing, feeling, and experiencing all that there is right now. Stay tuned as Ron Ash teaches how to locate our special gifts, connect with spirit, and intentionally create our experiences.
Good morning and welcome to Being with Ron Ash. I'm Ron Ash, your host. We are the B Talk Radio Network, live and local, national and international, on great stations worldwide. For a complete list of our affiliates and showtimes, please visit mybtrn.com. That's mybtrn.com. This morning you are being with Ron Ash and Darshini in spirit. Good morning, Darshini.
Good morning. How are you doing, Ron?
I am excellent. I hope the rest of the world is as well as I am, but I know that not to be true.
Yeah.
I have heard many people, and we've talked about this previously on the show, who are suffering a great deal of anxiety and depression during what we have coined as the awakening.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, it's being reflected in the readings I'm doing and even in the classes. I don't know about coincidentally, but I've been doing even Face Your Fears class, and people are exhibiting all these signs, and it's sad because if you remember, I don't know if it came out to the East Coast, but here in the West there were actually two producers. One is an actor, one was a producer for a long time, I think on NBC4, and they went missing and presumed, suicide or something, but I know that one's being caught in other words, they're just trying to escape, I think. And people, it's the anxiety level that I'm seeing is really, and within myself too, we are, how can I say this, we are cell-based here, so everything influences everything, and in the book I've described why the chapter on energy is so important, because as you know, I mean, I'm not a physicist obviously, but basically we're all energy, right? And
Absolutely.
we mix with everything, and that's how I read, is through pure energy, and that's why my readings are kind of totally different. So basically we are interacting with this change and the shift, which it is a major shift, and the adjustments is just like, I always say about the security blanket. We want to keep it to ourselves, and we hate change. Humans hate change. We're kind of creatures of habit. So they're trying to foist away our, the security blanket and make us into a different, evolved human being on a different scale with our intuition. So of course, letting go of even something, it's just like having if you had somebody, and I would say this in a class, if somebody came around and since you were a baby and slapped you in the head and said, oh, by the way, I love you, you'll associate that with love, right? Because it's habit, and that's how you associate love. So suddenly you grow up and you're whatever, 23, and suddenly this person goes away, and you realize that that isn't love, that you have to take how can I say, a step back from it and realize that being abused is not love. So in a way, I know it's a bit weird the way I'm describing it, but basically we have to let go of certain things. So what I'm seeing is, and other than there's just the anxiety level, the frustration, it's just like, it's beyond depression, because depression, there is a kind of border. There's a level of not even frustration, it's like an ache within you that you can't get rid of. Does that make sense to you, Ron?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So basically it's actually kind of going in like it's like a wave coming into the shore and going out. It's okay next day or maybe the day after, but it comes back sometimes more furiously and more intensely. Now, other than all of that going on, I'm seeing people, and these are my clients, getting involved in weird lawsuits coming out of the blue, accidents, which all of this was predicted in the YouTubes that I put up about 3 weeks ago since the last show. And it's all called the clarification period. And the clarification period is all to do with, in a way, facing your fears, but also reviewing your life. And I don't know if you've seen, especially in the last 2 weeks, that you have been, in a way, faced with certain situations, Ron. I don't know about you, but I see one or two. But basically, that you had to change the way you see situations. Is that what would you say, have you gone through any of those situations?
Yes, very true, yeah.
Okay, so basically this, I hate to say it, and this is what my clients don't like about me, because I'm brutally honest. They're going to hear, well, I know, it's going to get worse, okay? And it is, and this was started around about May 12th. It's all there in the 3 YouTubes there. But basically, it's going to last until July 27th, round about that time, if not about a day or two later, but it will improve by the 22nd of July. So projects, things that you want, you're really working hard for, and I know you're so intense with when you're driven to go into one direction, Ron, and it's hard you and I are like that, and a lot of people out there who have their own businesses especially are like that, because that's how we survive. But I hate to say it,
I'm extremely diligent.
yeah, diligent, but sometimes the wave, or should I say the tsunami, is holding you back, right? It's creating a wall on you. Is that right?
Yeah, but I find that if I just kind of take off alone, and get down to the ocean like I did yesterday, just take that, day to just kind of breathe and reflect and things, it's very helpful. In some cases, this anxiety and depression, does it turn to a physical illness for people?
Yes, because what they're doing is they're not letting it go. So instead of, it's easier said than done, I fully realize that. You can't be the leaf in the wind and or on the stream and let it go. But it's sometimes it is easier to kind of go into it and remember, and I said this a long time ago, it'll be in the book again, and that is to do with depression. If it's not a clinical depression, is a good thing. And people don't realize that I know I'll probably get shot for that, but basically it's really to do with spirit trying to tell us that they're closing all the avenues. What happens in a depression? You don't want to go out, you don't want to socialize, you start staying in, you want to go into a fetal position. And what happens is that literally all the routes out of the maze are locked out and you are by yourself. And what happens? You start thinking about what you really, really want in your life. You start not thinking about on the internet, worrying about the kids, husband or whatever. Why? It's to do with what do you want. And this is what this basically, bottom line is, the clarification period's about. What do you want, Ron? What would really make you happy? Because remember, just like that old adage going up in the airplane, you got a baby, you put the oxygen mask on yourself first. You have to survive before the child. Even though instinctually you want to save the baby, you can't. You have to realize that this time is so crucial that you might miss the boat in the way of not seeing the real presence and the finite solutions they're trying to give you. So in other words, you can restructure yourself. And I'm not saying, oh yeah, new body and everything. Well, yeah, if you work out, you can. But it's really to do with the spiritual level and the mental level here. And they're intertwining and they're doing a huge dimensional shift. So you have to realize that if you allow it, get an exercise book, go to the beach or go to the forest, wherever you feel your secure places. And really, and I've got an exercise if we get time to do it, otherwise I'll do it separately and post it on YouTube. But basically what you have to do is to really think about what you want. Well, first of all, not even what you want. You have to go through, there's an exercise that I put up and it's with a picture of pink petals, but it's like a 3-hour exercise. How many of my students and clients have taken it and they have shifted tremendously, because it's about seeing your relationships into in a different aspect completely, because we're all about seeing what's outside, but we don't realize how we are impacting with other people, and it shifts your perception completely. And this is just an excerpt from the book, but I put it out into YouTube and it has shifted people, but it's really to do with a reconciliation about yourself. So I'm sorry I get passionate about this, but this is going to be a roller coaster. It'll only get worse by next Thursday or Friday. It'll get really intense for a few days. So even though you can, you think, oh, you've made it into the lifeboat. I hate to say it, the sharks are circling. So just know that if you start doing the work, and in a way, what happens with all of this is that people have to realize that they are trying, in a way, being forced, and again, in the book it's called squeezing the head. They're squeezing your head to start making you think about other things and to make you think about, again, bottom line, who are you? What do you want? How are you going to be happy in this life for the rest of your life? And it's a brilliant present, isn't it?
It's amazing because people will come into your life that you've had relationships with in the past,
Yes.
business, romance, or whatnot, but it's really giving you a picture
Mm-hmm.
of what that was at that time, and then you can say, wait a sec, this is what I liked about that, this is what I didn't like about that, and you're kind of like really formulating, as you said, what do you really want, what's really going to make you happy, what's missing in your current career, what's missing in your current relationship, what's missing in your current financial situation, whatever the case may be.
Perfect.
The universe is kind of orchestrates. So
Yes,
perfect.
and it's a mirror, isn't it? But it's it's an interactive mirror, and that is what you have to realize. If you step into it and really, it's hard. A lot of people who did the exercise, I'll call it the petal exercise, but it isn't. But really, it was brutal for them, because they had to be honest. But you know what? The freedom after going through that tunnel is incredible. And this is just for you, you know, it's that's all they are here for. It's not to kind of make us our life miserable or hell. It's to improve our lives to where we can do anything and achieve everything. So I totally agree with you.
I wanted to ask you, we had that solar eclipse. We weren't able to see it on the East Coast, but it was visible on the West Coast. I don't know if you had a chance to see.
Yes, I did.
But things like the solar eclipse, the movement of the planets, how are these influencing us right now?
Okay, now we'll go, that's a great question, Ron. You know, and I don't do astrology. Sorry, my voice is going here. But my father is actually third generation Eastern astrology, which is different from the Western. But, you know, and when you think about it, and this is true, when the moon comes up, when there's a full moon, a lot of hospitals and police forces actually put on more staff because what?
Yeah.
Lunacy comes from Luna, the moon. And it's been proven that it does affect it. And when you think about it, how much of the planet is water, and it actually eclipses, the planet does change its form very, very slightly because of the draw and the pull of the moon. And how much of are we a percentage of liquid? So of course it's going to influence. So not only the moon, but when the planets did go on solar eclipse, there were certain changes within ourselves that, again, it's triggering. All of this is not coincidental. It's helping to, it's as if, I know whoever's the guide is here is being quite funny. It's like loading the pistol. They're putting the actual bullet in the gun now. And these are all the preparatory initiations in a way. So again, it's an eclipse. It was, even though very slightly, we had a more a crescent moon, but we all were looking under the smoke only for a few seconds because it would burn your eyes. But basic was quite awesome. And you know, it's all to do, and all these planetary alignments, they're all obviously affecting us. The nearer the planets, the sun, and you know, I put out a load on more YouTubes on the solar eclipse. Sorry, not the solar eclipse, but the solar flares and everything, because that's going to increase by next year. And so basically all of this is affecting us, but we have to realize that it's more on a physical level. So if it's on a physical level, obviously your mental aspects eventually will be affected, right? Because of water and everything. So again, I'll put out, if we get time towards the end, I'll do an exercise again. If we don't get time, because you know we're doing readings as well, I'll definitely post this mini exercise at the end of the day to kind of get a better grasp on who you are and what you're doing, that you can change your world a bit, at least shift it. You can't change it completely. It's a step process, I'm afraid. But yes, we are being influenced big time from the solar eclipses and all these changes. I mean, did you know on June, I believe, and please check my facts on this, but June 6th, that I believe, I think it's Venus, is going to be Venus. One of the planets is going to be the closest it's been for a long, long time. So not only closest, it's actually going to ellipse. It's going to be in front of them. That's right, the sun. And you'll see a block. It will be in front of it, and you'll see a dark mass there. So if anybody's interested, I'll try and.
June 6th, I'm going to write that down.
I'll try and post it on Facebook, my Facebook, and you can join it. And then it's literally, you'll be able to see it. And, you know, obviously, even in the naked eye, but you will see it crossing the sun, not the moon, the sun. So that's a very rare occurrence. And again, this is part of this alignment. So on that day, I would not exactly hide, but quite frankly, just be aware that, and please let me know if you start feeling a bit not right with yourself, as if you're, how can I say this, not quite in your body, as if you haven't really connecting thoughts, just like I'm trying to connect dots now. But basically, it's just your mental confusion. Put it that way. A kind of a disruption in your thought patterns. So let's see from the listeners now and whoever watches this on YouTube will let me know if they've been feeling all of these, because I know on the Facebook there are a lot of people who've been feeling the clarification phase. But do your homework, because what's following the clarification phase is enormous, and that is coming into where we're achieving our dreams. And that's what the exercise is to find out what do you want in your future. And anyway, okay.
All right, very interesting. Reminiscent of the Jim Henson film, The Dark Crystal, The Great Conjunction.
Oh,
These
yes.
planets all aligned. They've been playing that a lot lately. I've
Really?
been catching that quite often. Darshini in Spirit, Darshini-inspirit.com to schedule a private session with Darshini. We will be giving free readings and mediumship right after these messages. Hold tight.